This was such a great film. I really enjoyed it, and it wasn't until after I'd seen it that I realized that the title has two different meanings. It's not just about a runner. It's about being black or white in 1930s America.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, Stephen, what is it like, what does it feel like to portray somebody who's the subject of so much discrimination?
Well, for me, certainly reading the script and understanding his story, there was a lot of hard moments in there for me. A lot of moments where I was sad, disappointed, angry, even. But again, it's just you have to sort of take yourself out of it and sort of just be able to give to the story. But it's a testament to the type of guy Jesse was, that he was able to overcome so much adversity. And really there were so many things that could have went and did go against him, but he was able to come out of it victorious and in more than one way, really, and winning all these gold medals, obviously, but transcending the world through his love of running.
And Jason, you played Larry, who's his coach. He's such an affable, good-natured guy. Is it more difficult to play somebody who's so nice as opposed to somebody who's maybe a bit of a jerk?
It's all situational. I think everybody has the capacity to be any of those things at any given moment, and that's one of the neat things of yes, being a human being, but also getting to pretend to be them in films and TV is this opportunity to sort of show different sides of the human experience. So I could see Larry being viewed, and is, for the during certain parts of the film, during the growth of the relationship between Jesse and Larry, where he is a jerk, where he isn't empathetic. He does sort of view Jesse, well, not as a black athlete, but as merely an athlete, because I don't believe Larry really saw race, for better or worse. And what's nice is to see Jesse being the man that he was, to call him out on it, and that helps bridge that gap between two very dissimilar people, and it makes you realize how much similar we all really are when you get down to it.
What was it like to film in Germany at the Olympic Stadium where all these events actually took place?
Yeah, mind-blowing.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was very, very, very humbling. I mean, we you had already met Jesse's daughters at that point, but they came out and joined us, and there's an area section of the stadium that is the Jesse Owens lounge, or I forget, I think it was a whole floor. I'm there with my fiance and my little boy, and I'm like, okay, so I'm hanging out with Jesse Owens' own kin or offspring, with holding my own offspring with new friends inside this building that carries all this hatred, and yet there's not an ounce or drop of hate at this present time, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. For me, I got chills, walking up to that stadium for the first time, just thinking that, I was literally walking in Jesse's footsteps. I walked up to that stadium, and I felt it was almost eerie. I was beside myself, thinking that he had done this same walk. He walked into a stadium filled with 150,000 people. I went in there was nobody in there. So for me to feel that way, I can only imagine even just a fraction of how he felt. But obviously, he's well loved there. You mentioned the Jesse Owens Lounge. Yeah. The street that the stadium's on is called Jesse Owens Alley. They renamed it after him. So it's incredible. It was great to see. Really asserted to me that he was so much bigger than an American hero. He was really just a world hero.
And did you do any research or preparation for your roles?
Yeah, he had
a lot of physical training?
Physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah. There's obviously a bunch of different aspects when you're looking at playing a guy like Jesse Owens. He's a real life person, somebody who lived. So for me, I had to figure out who he was, who he was as a man, who he was as a father. And then obviously there's the fastest man on the planet thing. So I had to do my training there. I had to make sure that I was running fast, but also running like Jesse.
And I got off pretty scot-free in comparison. There's not a lot known about Larry Snyder. Oddly, we had a couple photographs, an appearance on a game show that he appeared on with Jesse in I think the 50s or so. I didn't have to play the icon in this situation. I just had to support him and wear a hat.
What's next for both of you? What can we see you in next?
Hopefully Spider-Man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah?
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Boom.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
No, I know.
I feel like I should just release that into
Absolutely.
the earth,
Are you
and
kidding me?
hopefully it'll come back.
It will, in some way. It may just be a doll, but it might be the role.
Yeah,
You know,
either way.
it's still
Close
nice.
enough, right?
Something you didn't have before.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Spider-Man as well for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to me today.